this is Rapao, and today in Tacx Turbo Talks we're talking to Patrik Nilsson of BMC Vifit Pro Triathlon team about the Ironman World Championships in Kona. It's Thursday, October 3rd, and we're just over a week away from the most grueling sporting event of the year. It's the Ironman World Championships in Kona, Hawaii. And on the line is a 5-time Ironman champion who is going to that big island for the 3rd time in his quest to win that prestigious title. It's Patrik Nilsson of BMC Vifit Pro Triathlon team. Welcome, Patrik. Are you ready for some heat and humidity?
Oh yeah, really. I mean, I've been in Texas now for 3 weeks, and it's been amazing. I don't know how many bike rides or runs I've done where you can just take up the socks after the training session and squeeze out the sweat. It's been 3 pretty tough but and really challenging weeks, but I feel really ready to come over to Kona and do the race in a week.
Because obviously some people go out there like 3 weeks before or 2 weeks before. So you're going, when are you going over?
Tomorrow, so a week before, but then I've been in the Woodlands, Texas for 3 weeks. And I think the conditions here are, if not worse, at least the same. The humidity, it's so humid. And the heat, it's easily around the 90s, 95 degrees Fahrenheit. So I think the conditions here are more or less the same as in Kona, if not worse. But then it's way more relaxed. So we can do the training, we can have fun. I've enjoyed the 3 weeks a lot. Instead of going to Kona for 2 weeks, 2.5, 3 weeks, and you just feel the tension once you get there. It's a big race coming up. So I understand the people being in Kona or the islands around for a long time, but I think the setups works really well for me to come to a place where I know the people, I know the place, I'm more relaxed and can just enjoy the training. I get the humidity, I get the heat, but I'm not in Kona. So for me, this works really well. And then flying out to Kona on Friday, a week before the race.
So is the heat and humidity basically the biggest challenge racing in Kona?
I would say so, yeah.
What does it make it so special, that race?
Actually, to be honest, everything. I think the heat and the humidity is actually the worst. I mean, it's in October. Even pretty warm places in Europe, it's October, it starts to get cold. So I think coming from Europe, or I would guess even a lot of places in US, it starts to get winter, it starts to get autumn. So the heat and humidity is for sure one of the main focuses for me leading up to the race. How can I prepare for this in the best way? Then of course the wind, it's really windy out on a bike. But that's still something you train with before. So the wind can be a game changer on the bike, that some of the strong bikers feel, okay, let's do an attack in the side wind now to try to break up the group. But nothing extraordinary, maybe so to say. Then I think actually one of the things that makes Ironman Hawaii so special is that everyone on the start line are fit. If you're doing a normal Ironman race, you can have medium, or you can do a couple of mistakes. Things can happen that's not going your way, and you can still be on the podium. You can still maybe win. In Kona, if you lose a water bottle, okay, then you have a big problem. If you do a small mistake, okay, that was 2 positions at least in the end. It's a world championship. Everyone that has qualified, that are on the start line, are really good athletes. So the margins between each athlete are so small. So each small mistake, it has a huge impact in the end on the overall result. And then if you add the heat, you add the humidity on this, it's a tough one for sure. And I remember 2 years ago, I lost a water bottle on the bike, and I think that could have been the longest 20, 30 minutes of my life. I thought, I really like, how can I do this? I was on my way to bike over to the other side of the road where the bike course was, just to get to that aid station and ask them, okay, I actually need water. I I need a lot of water in that snow. Can you please fill up my water bottle? So it's a special race. Everyone on the start line are good, and the heat and humidity, and then the overall tactics for the race. That okay, what's going to happen this year with an athlete like Alistair Brownlee on the start line? How will that affect the course? The race. So it's special, but it's a fun race.
And like you said, like 2017, when you lost that water bottle, you still had a great debut. You finished 8th for the first time you were there. Last year, you were struggling with some cramp issues.
Mm-hmm.
What were the changes that you've made in 2019 that you got over those cramping issues?
I think it was a lot of mentality behind it. I had a pretty rough year last year, I believe. There's no pressure from sponsors. There's not one sponsor who sends an email, okay, Patrik, now you need to win this race or you need to perform good. But of course, I think it's a pressure you put on yourself. Like, okay, here's some sponsors, they pay me money to perform good. And, oh man, I need to perform good. So I think that was pretty much what happened in Kona. I felt really good, actually. Did not the best swim maybe, but it was still okay. I was in the main pack. Out on the bike, I biked away from the main pack and tried to catch the front. And I felt good. I felt strong, and yeah, it was fine. But then going down from Hawaii, I saw the stronger bikers. I think it was David Plessis. There was a couple of good bikers being half a minute behind. I was like, okay, yes, this is the moment. Let's catch the front group. I just need to wait them in. And then the cramps came like that. So I think there was a lot of, there's so much mental behind the cramps that I've been suffering with during 2018. And I've just been working on this. So mental coaches and just trying to maybe not be more relaxed, but more relaxed in a way to let the muscles do their work. If I just let the body do what it can do, I'm sure the result will be good in the end. So it's been a tricky one, but as soon as we found what I believe is the reason for the cramps, it's been a very good lesson, a very good journey to where I've learned a lot. So I feel ready for this year's.
Yeah, if you look at your 2019 season, second in the 70.3 in Dubai, and then you had a great race in Texas, winning that in a 7 hours, 50 minutes and 55 seconds. You ran a 2:42 marathon. Those must be like really promising signs for this year's in Kona. What are your expectations for yourself? What do you expect of yourself for this race?
And that's one of the things where I think the mentality has changed a lot, where it needed to change a lot. A year ago, I went to Kona, okay, I'm here to win. I'm here to win or be on the podium, or this is the result I will be happy with. I think the goal for this year is instead I just want to get to the finish line and feel that I've done everything I could in my power to perform as good as I could. So I just want to get to the finish line and feel, okay, I'm happy with the swim, I'm happy with the bike, I'm happy with the run, and God, I'm tired. If I just can be really tired at the finish line and feel that, okay, I've done everything I could, I will be happy about the result. And I believe that the result can be, looking at last year, I believe I could be on the podium. I believe I can be top 5. I believe for sure I can be top 10. I've been there before, but I believe with the fitness I have now, I believe I can be top 5 if I just can do a race that I'm happy with. So the main focus for me for the race will be to have a good feeling on the swim, good feeling, good power, good energy on the bike, and then put down a marathon that I feel happy. Yeah, I feel happy with, that I feel pleased with.
If I look at your strengths, you're a strong swimmer. So you, I think, like, was it 2017? You came 3rd out of the water already.
I believe so.
So yeah, is that something that you set yourself up for a swim and then find a good group on the bike, and then you've got a really strong run to finish it off? Would that sort of be ideal?
Yeah, for sure. That would be the perfect scenario. But I'm very curious how the race will be this year with Alistair Brownlee mixing it up. He's a really good swimmer. He's a good biker. He's a good runner. With all respect, I don't think he will be on top of the podium, but he will be in the mix and have a huge impact on the race. So I'm afraid, not afraid maybe, but I expect that the swim will be really hard. Also, someone like Jan, he's obviously going to Kona to win, and that's it. He wants to dominate the race and show who's the best athlete in the world. So I could expect the swim to be all out from the start, and then it's just to hang on. The same on the bike. It's going to be a tough one, but again, the perfect scenario, like you said, would be to swim with the front, just keep up with the front on the bike, and then finish it off with a strong marathon. If that can work out, I will be more than happy going out and run, feeling that I'm in a good position and can reach the podium with a 2:45 marathon.
You already mentioned Jan Frodeno. Is that a bit of the question, how everyone is going to beat those three Germans, Jan Frodeno, Sebastian Kienle, and obviously Patrik Lange, who won the last 2 years?
I think in many ways, Jan and Patrik and Sebastian are the benchmark for some of the disciplines. Like Patrik, the run, it's okay, now 2:40 is what you need to do. Like I think there's more and more athletes training to do a 2:40 marathon in Kona. So Patrik really set the benchmark on the run. Sebastian is putting the benchmark on the bike, and I believe Jan is putting the benchmark as the overall athlete to. I think he's one of very few athletes who can actually be on the front after the swim, be on the front after the bike, be on the front after the run, and I guess he's the pretty much second fastest swimmer in the world after Josh, second fastest biker in the world after, maybe Anders Starkovic, Cameron Wolf, Sebastian, and then maybe the second fastest runner in the world after Patrik. So those three Germans they're very special. Like that's where you need to be in a good striking position after each discipline. And then of course I think if you have Jan or Patrik in sight during the bike and towards the end of the bike, you're in a good position. So those two athletes for me will for sure be two of the few athletes I'm kind of looking after to see, okay, where am I? Of course, also see how far behind am I after Cameron, after the bike. But if you have some of these Germans within sight during and after the bike, you most of the times are in a pretty good position, I guess.
And what would be if you had to make a prediction for the podium at the end of the race? Who would be the winner, second and third?
It's a tough one. It's really tough. I guess we'll see in a week. See in 8 days. But
is it easier to make a prediction for the women's race?
I think it's easier, at least. I don't see there's a lot of good athletes for sure, but if you have a 5-time world champion, I think it's hard to put the bets on someone else. So I think Daniela will be the winner, I guess. Lucy Charles has shown that she's very solid for second the last 2 years. And then on third, I think it's tougher. But then for the men's race, I think if I would bet on someone, I would bet on Jan to win, actually. I think he has the overall game that very few athletes has. He's an exceptional swimmer, an exceptional biker. He's an exceptional runner, and he's won 2 times before. He's won the 7.3. He's won the Olympics. I think it's really set up to come back after missing out on Kona the last 2 years. Then for second and third, it's really tough. I think I would love to put myself on one of those positions, but in the end,
you can.
I can. But I think that the women's race is easier. The men's race,
Okay.
it's really hard. I think it will be a fight till the end, actually.
Okay. All right, we're moving to the Tacx Turbo Talks fan question of the week. Each week we've got questions coming in for our guests on the podcast. And this week we got a question from Jero Donovan, and he wanted to know, what's the secret for your silky smooth golden hair?
It's a wig. I've never told it before. But that's a good question. Actually, my girlfriend is usually the one fixing it. So now when I'm out traveling, I rely on the sun and to get it whitening from the sun. A lot of chlorine, I guess.
A lot of chlorine, a lot of swimming without a swim cap.
Exactly.
All right. Okay, we're gonna wrap it up. Just one more question. Do you have like a pro tip for everyone who just starting the cycling, for the amateur triathletes who want to take it to the next level? Do you have one tip for them?
I mean, it might sound stupid since it's the Tacx podcast, but I really believe in a home trainer. If you're an amateur, you probably have a full-time work, you have a family, you need to be efficient, and the Tacx Neo for me, I love it. I enjoy riding on the turbo, especially in the winter. But then I can imagine having a full-time work, having a family, having friends. It's just efficient, it's easy, and you get the work done. Then it's always consistency to be able to bike a lot. It doesn't need to be many hours, but if you can bike an hour every day, I'm sure you will improve as a biker, no matter what.
Do you have a favorite workout yourself on the Tacx?
Actually, I like. I'm not doing it too much, but I enjoy the high intensity. I think one of the funnest sessions I've done, it's 30 seconds hard work, 15 rest, 30 hard work, 15 rest, and so on. Then we do that for, how long is it? Maybe 6 minutes, 7 minutes. Then a longer break, and then do the whole 6-7 minutes again, 3 times. So 30 seconds work, 15 easy, 30 seconds, 15 over 6-7 minutes. Then a 5-minute break, and then again 2 or 3 times in total. That's a good one.
It sounds like a good sweaty workout.
And it's a really tough one, but it's not too long. It's always, okay, I can do 30 seconds. It's just 30 seconds. I can push hard for 30 seconds. Then you're tired, you get the break, and then at 30 seconds again, okay, I can do 30 seconds. And you do this for 6-7 minutes, and then you get a longer break. You can relax, recover, get ready for the next 6-7 minutes again. I think it's a really good one.
It's a fitting tip for the listeners to the Tacx Turbo Talks podcast. Patrik, I want to thank you for your time, and obviously good safe travels to Kona, and good luck on Saturday the 12th.
Thank you very much, and thanks for having me.
Yeah, no worries. You're welcome. A pleasure, and hopefully we'll see you on that podium in Kona.
I wish. Thank you very much.
All right, awesome. All right, guys, thanks for listening. Don't forget to subscribe, rate, and review the Tacx Turbo Talks podcast. It goes a long way for other people to find the podcast as well. This was Rob Bauer with Patrik Nilsson of BMC Vifit Pro Triathlon team. Stay tuned for a new Tacx Turbo Talks next week.